Ladies and gentlemen, the 90th edition of the International Motor Show will not take place.
And yet another show bites the dust. Hello and welcome. I'm Ana Maria Montero. The 90th edition of the Geneva International Motor Show has been canceled because of, no surprise, coronavirus fears, striking a marquee event from the global auto industry's calendar as it braces for a third year of recession. Switzerland's Federal Office of Public Health on Friday said that gatherings of more than 1,000 people, public or private, have been banned through at least the 15th of March in a bid to restrict the spread of the virus. According to the organizers, roughly 220 exhibitors attend the annual car show, along with 10,000 journalists and roughly 660,000 visitors. As late as this morning, preparations were still underway. Kazmira Jefford reports from the Palexpo in Geneva, where installations are being taken down as we speak.
Well, it's official. The Geneva International Motor Show, one of the world's largest automotive events, has been cancelled. And as you can hear and see around me, the show is quickly being dismantled. That's some 150 exhibitors who are due to showcase their latest models here. And many of those car brands do not have a plan B, but others have said they will be live streaming their launches. Some are looking at alternative venues. Now, there is some good news. The Car of the Year award, which gets announced on Monday, will be taking place, but in Germany, so you can watch that. For the organization itself, they've estimated a direct hit of about 2 million Swiss francs. And the overall amount is expected to be much bigger. The event attracts some 600,000 people, making it Switzerland's biggest organized event, and generates around 200 to 250 million Swiss francs during its 10-day period. For now, the next event will be in March 2021.
And now we head over to New York, where we are joined by CNN's Peter Valdes-Dapena, expert on all things auto industry related, and who was confirmed to attend the Geneva International Motor Show next week.
Funny, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. I wasn't expecting it to happen this late. All along, I had some expectation maybe they're going to cancel this. But when it really got to be this late in the game, this close to the actual opening of the press days, I thought they're not going to cancel it now. I was hearing some rumblings from some automakers that they were concerned about it, though, as it got closer and closer. So I guess in the end, I'm a little surprised. Not shocked, but a little surprised.
And, you know, just yesterday, they confirmed that it was going to take place, right? And it seems like it took the Swiss government's intervention to kind of force the organizer into finally saying, we have to cancel it. How unprecedented is this kind of thing?
In my career, and I've been doing this a long time, I can't think of another example offhand. I can't think of another example of an auto show just flat out being canceled, especially at this late date. I mean, for example, we know they're not going to have a Frankfurt Motor Show next year, but they said that, you know, shortly after the Frankfurt Motor Show had taken place for this year. So we knew that that was going to happen. That was way early on. A couple of days before, I mean, that's shocking. I'd never heard of it before, and just thinking of all the expense that's gone into setting up show stands, all the expense that's going to have to go into taking those show stands down. Fortunately, I personally had actually canceled my flights. I had flights to go there. I'd canceled them a couple of days ago. I canceled hotel rooms that I'd reserved a couple of days ago, not because I thought they were going to cancel the show, but just because I was worried about travel restrictions going overseas. And people around me are like, we're getting concerned about this. We think you should cancel. So I did. Turned out that was very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and to your point, you know, 600,000 people more or less were expected to attend over those 10 days. So, as you said, the massive financial implications. But tell me, how missed is this event going to be on the calendar year?
Well, for journalists like me, I know it's going to be missed a lot. The Geneva show was always one of my favorite shows, probably my favorite auto show of the entire year, just because some of the really special cars there, you had manufacturers like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, who don't even go to other shows. Plus, for me as a U.S. journalist, it's an opportunity for me to travel to Europe and talk to car brands I don't ordinarily get to speak to. Skoda, for example, Seat, Renault, and others who don't operate in the U.S. market. So it's a good it was a good opportunity for me to get to do that. I personally am going to really miss it. And I think a lot of automakers, aside from the expenses we talked about of show stands being set up and taken down, they're going to probably take this as an opportunity to see, hey, how much are these auto shows really worth to us? This is kind of like an experiment. Here's a big show we plan on going to. It didn't happen. We didn't get to go. How much was that negative impact to us? And probably use that to think about whether they want to attend auto shows in the future. Is it really worth it?
Yes, and of course, I think that's the big question. And just a question to you then, you just alluded a little bit to it, but what kind of an impact could it have on the auto industry per se? I mean, will it?
I sort of don't think if automakers are smart about this, that it's going to have a big impact on them. Because this is an opportunity for press, they can find other ways to do that. It's a way to show customers their products. They can find other ways to do that. For the bigger manufacturers, probably not a big impact. For some of the smaller manufacturers, though, especially some of the elite luxury brands who use the Geneva show as an opportunity every year to really connect with their customers, for some of those smaller manufacturers like Morian in England, for example, or again, Bugatti, Lamborghini, this might have a bigger impact because it was a bigger part of their marketing to go to a show like this.
So I guess it is going to be more of a question of whether or not we're going to be seeing a shift in a mindset, right? Are people just going to continue and companies embrace other ways of communicating their technology?
Right, because people were doing that anyway. There already had been a trend for some time now. Every time an auto show was approaching, journalists and blogs would start publishing lists of the companies that were going to skip that individual show. You know, for example, in this case, people were saying Volvo, et cetera, they were not going to be at this particular show. Automakers had already started being more selective and more strategic about which auto shows they went to and which they did not, and which ones really paid off for them. Because let's face it, we already have other ways to reach people. We have the internet. You have websites, social media, and ways to reach out to people. So auto shows like this were part of the mix. And I guess people are going to be readjusting, and automakers are going to be readjusting. Okay, this gives us a chance to find out where these auto shows fall in this mix for us.
On the heels of the Geneva International Motor Show, the verdict is also in for Baselworld 2020. It has been postponed until next January. Alexander Linz joins us in Vienna. All right, so Alexander, seeing you a little sooner than I expected, since we spoke so recently about whether or not Baselworld was going to move forward, and now we actually have the verdict in. But interesting to me is their choice of words. They did not say they were canceling their event for 2020. They said they were postponing it.
And they were postponing it to January, and that's a pretty surprise to me because I didn't expect them to go back to January. And in my opinion, this is a very positive and very good decision they did. They were blocked or stopped by a virus. They couldn't do the show now, and instead of really saying, okay, what will be next, they were thinking ahead, positively saying, okay, then let's go back to January. That was also something a lot discussed. As you might remember, the dates in end of April and beginning of May were pretty not ideal. The industry wanted to have some earlier dates. The retailers wanted to have earlier dates, the press, etc. And now they're back in January. And now the big question is, will the Watches and Wonders also take place in January? I don't know.
And that of course is the question. There always has been discussion about how they coordinate those dates, and you know, how likely do you think that's going to happen?
Honestly, I don't know. I tried to get some information in the meantime since the press release was out until now, and I couldn't get a clear answer. My opinion is that this was not agreed, but this is my personal opinion. And it was a decision taken by Baselworld to say, okay, we go there because it makes sense. And it's not Baselworld who decided, it's Rolex, it's Patek Philippe, it's the big brands who decided because they know what their clients want. And they had to go earlier. And this was a very good occasion. First to say, let's change the dates. Let's be positive. Let's announce already a date. This is the first show that has been canceled that has already announced a date. The Geneva Car Salon, Salon de l'Auto has not announced a date. Watches and Wonders has not announced a date. Other fairs that have been canceled, the same. So they have announced a date. It's clearly, it will be the starting of 28th of January next year. And this, in theory, would be the date when normally the Watches and Wonders would have closed because it was always in the week before in January. And now if they are smart and not maybe lightening up again a little bit kind of a war, who has best position, who is first, who is not, as they were together in May, end of April and May. And if they are smart now, they should both start in January, Watches and Wonders the week before, then everybody moves to Basel, and then there's Baselworld, and I think everybody will be happy, and let's hope, this will happen.
All right, so it sounds like the ball is now in the court of the formerly known as SIHH, now Watches and Wonders Geneva. We'll have to see how they respond. Thank you, Alexander, so much for this quick update and for joining us today.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, let's wrap things up today with a look at what's got people talking on social media. I have my guesses, but our digital producer, Tanya Koenig, joins me now. Confirm this for me.
Hi, Anna Maria. So actually, you picked the right topics because coronavirus is trending, the Swiss government canceling all these big events, Basler Fasnacht, Geneva Motor Show, of course. But not all events have been cancelled, as we heard from Casimira earlier in the show. The Car of the Year is still taking place. She mentioned they moved it to from Geneva to Germany. But what I like about it is that instead of having it with an actual audience, they moved it online. So they will announce the Car of the Year through a live stream.
What is this Car of the Year event?
The object is to acclaim the most outstanding new car that went on sale in the past 12 months. And they have a jury of 60 members, which are senior car journalists from across Europe, and they picked a few nominees. And we actually put the video together, and maybe we can have a look at it. Mathis, can you roll it? And we were guessing that it could be the Tesla Model 3 that could win. But now that the whole thing has been moved to Germany, maybe that's a clue, that a German car will make the race. But, of course, we want to know from you online what you think. So go over to Facebook. We posted this video and let us know which car you would pick.
All right, that's right. You can always, don't forget, get involved in today's news, like this instance, by checking our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatever the comment, it's always great to hear from you. So don't forget, you can also find everything on our website, cnnmoney.ch, and don't forget to keep those hands clean. We'll see you next time.